Well, welcome back to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Seth Morkerke.
I'm Susanna Moberg.
And we have a guest of the show who's a first-timer, so we're going to let you introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here at DSU.
I'm Mackenzie DeGiswaldo. I'm a senior here at DSU, and I play volleyball.
Yeah, and you're from Colorado, and you transitioned. You went to JUCO, junior college, I should say, in Wyoming, and now you're here at DSU. You came here last year. What was that transition like from high school in Colorado, and then you went to Wyoming, the greatest state in the nation, and then you came here to the second greatest state in the nation, I'll say?
I think that going to JUCO was really good for me because I guess it's not that I struggled in school, but it definitely wasn't as important to me as volleyball, and so going to JUCO kind of just taught me to appreciate school a little bit more, and then it was easier to transition to my harder classes here, so it was really helpful.
Yeah, and you know you were new last year, and you're kind of finding your role on the team. Quickly became a leader even last year, but now you're one of the seniors on the team and a definite leader. How has that transition been from, this is only your second year here at DSU, but you're a major leader?
I think it's tough because I spent 2 years at my JUCO, and you just start becoming a leader there because you're a sophomore, you're in the top. And then I get here and I don't know anyone, and I'm expected to be a leader because I'm an upperclassman, but I didn't know anyone, so I kind of had to work a little bit harder to establish a role on the team here.
So you are a defensive specialist and the libero on the team. So has this always been your position, and can you tell us a little bit about what being the libero means?
I actually, the first 3 years, including my first year here, I was the setter. And so I set along with Kira Suki and Brianna Holland. And then last season, we just kind of transitioned me into a defensive specialist role, which has been really difficult to kind of switch roles, but it's been awesome, and I really feel a lot more comfortable there. And I think that it's just having your teammates' backs and them having yours in the back row, because you see everything back there. So that's kind of my role on the team now, is kind of the eyes in the back row.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you've definitely solidified your role as a defensive specialist and as the libero. You're leading the team in digs with 118. I've seen plenty of aces that you've had serving, and so you're well balanced on that. Like, as you said, you play in the back row only. What has it been like to kind of grow into that position and then really solidify that spot as a defensive specialist right along Allie? I know Allie is back there as well.
I think that the beginning of the season it was tough because it was new for me, and so I was just learning kind of the ins and outs, and my teammates really helped me, kind of just supporting me and helping me to show me what I needed to do. But I think just progressively through the season, since we've gotten better as a team, it's kind of helped me in my position to kind of really sink in there. So.
Cool.
You guys do lots of specialty nights for volleyball, so you have like breast cancer awareness night, MS night, you did a faculty appreciation night. What's that like to be one of the only sports that does these special event games and one of the only schools that do these appreciation nights? I
think it makes it really awesome for us to play for something other than ourselves. Sometimes you get in there and you get really psyched out in your head for the game, but you're playing for something way bigger than yourself. And it brings a lot of the community members into our games too, and kind of unites us all. And instead of us playing individually or for our team, it's just like for everyone. So you want to do well for everyone, I think. But
cool. You guys have a lot of fun together as a team. It's pretty easy to see that, and we hear it every time we have a volleyball girl on here. They just talk about how much fun you have. How does that, where does that come from, that fun, easy spirit that you guys all have?
I think that we have a lot of really silly and crazy personalities on the team, and we're all just super, super different. But when we all get together, we kind of feed off of each other, and we really bring out the weirdness in each other. So it's really fun. Even practice or anything on the bus, we really connect well as a team. So it's super fun.
Yeah, not only as the team really brings up the energy. You got those fans in the stands as well. That student section has been getting bigger and bigger, and that's really great to see. Looking ahead at this weekend, you have two really big games, not only just for the games, but also for, it's Parents' Night on Thursday and Senior Night on Friday. It's your last times probably playing at Scott Gym in front of that crowd. So what are your feelings as you head into this weekend?
It's really surreal because volleyball's kind of been there for my whole life, and now it's kind of coming to the end. But it's really nice because my parents are going to be here this weekend, and so I can honor them and everything they've done for me. And kind of just playing for the other seniors too, Allie and Kylie and Bree. And, you know, we can just leave it all out there on the court.
Yeah. And speaking of these games, you're playing Mayville and you're playing Presentation. You split, or you beat Presentation and then you lost to Mayville, split that trip last time we played them. Looking at these games, they're pretty much must win if we want to stay in this 5th place spot and go into the tournament, hopefully playing Dakota State. I know you guys aren't looking that far ahead, but I've been looking, and that's going to be a good matchup for us if we get Dakota State. So what are the keys to victory as we look at these games and then maybe even moving ahead?
I think that we really just need to play as a team this week and kind of forget about the win, but just look point by point, and then we'll get there ourselves. But these are really, really important, and we've been focusing all week at practice and kind of just doing what we need to do. So hopefully it all comes together this weekend and we'll get the wins.
Cool. We have one last question for you. We've been asking everyone since it's our centennial year, and you might have a little bit of a different perspective coming from a junior college to DSU. But now that you're here, you've had a few years here, what does DSU mean to you?
That's a tough question because it means so much to me. I think that just being such a small community, it just means family to me. And being here, regardless of being on the team or in school or whatever, anything that I've done here has made me feel really special, really part of the community. So I guess that's what DSU means to me.
Awesome.
Very well said. I would agree with that. Well, Kenzie, it's been great to have you on.
Thank you.
Good luck this weekend. We'll be looking forward to it. We'll be looking for those scores. We'll be at the games, cheering as loud as we can. But we'll be right back after this with another student athlete.
Life is full of many successes, achievements, stages. Every year we grow, things change, and pretty soon we realize we want and need to do more. When you're ready for that next step, Dickinson State University will get you there. Find out how at dsublue.com.
Well, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We have a guest who is no stranger to the show, probably our most frequent guest. We were talking about that. Go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do here at DSU.
My name is Peyton Herbst. I'm a senior, and this year I'll be running cross country and indoor track.
Yeah, we've had you on for all sorts of things, basketball, indoor and outdoor track, and now you're here for cross country. It's technically your first season as a cross country athlete. You did a little bit your freshman. Talk about that transition from whether it's basketball to indoor, indoor to cross, whatever it is. Just talk about that transition between all of those sports and now here at cross country.
Yeah, definitely. I think the most different change up was probably from going from usually playing basketball right away during the year and now to run cross country, just because obviously basketball's more team. I mean, it's indoor sport. It's the sport of basketball. And then cross country, you have to run with all the different conditions. I mean, all the different terrains we run on, all the different places we run. I mean, most of our races we run at are 5+ hours away, and so we take long bus rides. And it was a whole different change up. But I mean, running's always been a special thing for me, and here I am doing it a little bit more. So.
Heck yeah.
Was it difficult for you to join this team after not being part of cross country for such a long time?
No, it wasn't actually at all, because three of my other teammates that are on the cross country team are actually my girls on my relay team for track on the 4x8. So I'd be like JC Wilson, Lisa Townsend, Bailey Smith, and that's our 4x8 team. So it was pretty easy jumping into that with them. And then the rest of the girls, Brittany Grove, Julia Falcone, they're on the track team, so already have that bond with them. And then our new freshmen, and it was just an easy bond. So I already knew them all. We all knew each other already, and it was just kind of a plus to kind of already feel comfortable with them. So
well, you and Brittany are the only seniors on the team. You have a wide variety of leadership skills, in different sports, and now here in cross country. So how have you used your leadership skills and your just athletic ability to influence this team?
I definitely, since it's been since high school, since I've actually ran in a full cross country season, definitely just I know I'm gifted, but I definitely had to definitely work a little extra just to get in that cross country shape, and put myself where I needed to be running wise with the team, and yeah, I think I definitely. It's been a lot of work, but I mean it's getting there, and it's that time now that we're finally reaching where we need to be, and conferences this weekend, and hopefully we'll be on a national trip soon after.
Well, you know, earlier in the season and across the whole season, you guys have, you girls and the guys team have continued to just kind of show the world who you guys are, continue to achieve greatness. You've upset some nationally ranked teams individually. Some of the girls have, you know, finished in the top 10, top 5 even. Emily has really shown herself to be a strong runner as a freshman. How do you guys continue to achieve greatness and just pursue greatness every single week?
I think just the bond we have. I mean, honestly, all of us girls are like pretty close. We're all very different in a lot of ways, but the bond we have together, I mean, I think we all just truly love being a Blue Hawk, and I mean, we can all hang, like if we all were to let's hang out this weekend, yeah, we all can do that. Like it's just, I think there's some people in some groups that probably couldn't just do that, probably couldn't just get themselves together and actually hang out with each other for generally a couple hours or whatnot, but we're definitely just that close and that comfortable with each other to, I mean, do that. And I think just when we hit the course, it's kind of the same thing. If one of us is running by each other, there's always someone says something a confidence booster to you while you're running, or even tap on the back or something. Like it's just, we're very close. So I think that makes us just a little bit more special than other teams.
Right.
Yeah. You talked a little bit about this, but you guys are ranked first in the conference. You have your conference meet this weekend. What's your game plan going into that?
Definitely, well, I mean, we're ranked first. Everyone's looking at us to definitely win. And obviously we want to win, and we want to win quite proudly and with pretty big ease too. We want to kind of show that we're very top in our conference, and no one's really that close to us, and we want to show that we can compete with those GPAC and all those other schools like we have at meets, and we kind of want to win it and then go to nationals kind of sitting pretty high and pretty confident, and kind of show everyone that we're just as good as any other team. So
You talked about this a little bit before too, but you guys are an exciting group of athletes, whether it's just the girls team, just the boys team, or both of you together. Very exciting to watch, very encouraging to watch. I know when I'm at football practice, I hear you guys just run around the track and I'm thinking, holy cow, that must be really tough, but you just constantly hear encouragement coming, whether it's the girls cheering on the guys cheering on the girls, or, you know, individually some of the encouragement. So, you know, looking at that encouragement, how important is that on the team? And is that just an individual thing, or is that kind of the culture of the cross-country team?
Yeah, no, I definitely say that's part of our culture, and like I was saying, how proud we are and how comfortable we are with each other. Like, that's like one of the best parts about it. I mean, we're out on the track running repeat thousands or repeat 800s or something that no one wants to be doing. I mean, but we know it's making us better, and when we're running, the boys know it's making us better, so they cheer us on and you know, encourage us. And same with the boys when they're running their fast paces, that we cheer them on and keep them going, and try to just keep everyone smile on their face and just kind of keep our heads high. And if someone falls down or falls off on the pace, you just kind of pick them up, and you know, you'll get the next one. And yeah, I definitely just think it's part of our culture and how important everyone is to each other, and special everyone is to each other.
You guys have a long trip to Wisconsin ahead of you. How do you guys prepare for those long trips and stay ready to run when you're done on the long trip?
Definitely, we all have our own kind of things. Like if this was Brittany Grove sitting on this chair right now, she would say she sleeps the whole way and just sleeps, kind of keeps her mind just clear, and she literally will sleep the whole time. Like she'll wake up to eat, and that's honestly it, and she'll tell you that. And sometimes she'll wake up and we'll play like games and stuff, but the rest of us, all of us, we kind of, on the bus, we'll play games. We kind of just keep our minds off it, really. I mean, yeah, we know we're about to race, and it's a bigger race, but we don't really look at it like that. We're just another long bus trip over across the states. We play board games, we play card games, we just listen to music, we sing a lot. We just kind of keep each other calm, really.
Enjoy it, That's really cool. It's a cool glimpse into the cross-country team. I wouldn't expect that, but that's really cool. I'm sure you've been asked this question, you know, so many times over your 5-year career. I think we've even asked you on here. It's our centennial year, so we're asking everybody this, so we have to ask you. No, we get to ask you. You know, looking back on your career, whether it's basketball, track, whether it's indoor or outdoor, cross-country, or even just coming to some of these events, what does DSU mean to you, and how has it affected your life?
DSU means so much to me. I mean, I've competed in every season through these 5 years I've been here. I've got to play basketball and be on a back-to-back national team, which was incredible. There's probably not, then for track, I've qualified for the outdoor and indoor track and field championships. And then cross country, hopefully we'll be going to nationals in that. Yeah. I mean, every sport I've competed in, I've got to take a national trip. I mean, I've seen so many things, see so many cultures, and for basketball, we took a lot of winter trips. When Grappy was here, we went on like little trips. We went to Hawaii, we went to California, Florida. I mean, I got to do and see a lot of cool things while I was here at DSU. I mean, and then I've met, some of my best friends that'll be the rest of my life. Some of my professors I've made really great impacts with. I mean, it's just, and the coaches especially, I mean, they'll people I'll always look up to and be asking questions probably throughout the years to come. And I mean, it's just a family. I mean, it's no really other word to explain it. It's just, it's truly is a family away from your real family.
Yeah, that's very well said. I agree with that. I agree with everyone. Everyone seems to say that family thing, and that's really neat. I like to hear that about DSU. Well, Peyton, it's been great to have you on.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Good luck this weekend. We're looking forward to that. We'll be keeping up with the stats and probably sharing it on the DSU website and all sorts of things.
Awesome.
But we'll be right back after this, recapping the past couple weeks. Well, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We're just going to recap. Since it's been a couple of weeks, we want to show you all the events that have happened at DSU, away from DSU, and just how our teams are doing.
Yeah. So this past weekend, wrestling had their 24-hour lock-in, which we talked a little bit about how impressed we were that they could
do it,
could do that. And I was at the community center this weekend. My sister had a swim meet, and so I was in the pool area, and I saw this group of guys enter the pool.
Yeah.
It was the wrestling team,
okay.
And they looked a little rough. I don't know how long they had been there by that point, but I was talking to a few wrestlers in class the other day, and they were saying that they were feeling it by the time they hit the pool. So,
one of the many things that they did
oh my gosh,
that day. They're very impressive. I heard plenty of great things about that 24-hour lock-in, and I'm just impressed with it. They are ranked 20th in the preseason.
So their hard work is
paying off, and they don't start until after. They won't start wrestling until after the break, which is great for them, great for their bodies, great for their endurance.
Yeah.
And they are in the Heart of America conference. They just moved to that I think it was last year, the year before. And looking at the Heart of America conference, the number 1 ranked team, I think the number 7th or 8th ranked team are all in that conference, and so it's a good conference to be in. It'll be impressive for us, and it'll be a good showing for us to go to these wrestling tournaments.
Yeah, cool.
Looking at women's basketball, they had their first game, and it was their first win. They had their first home game. That ended up being a loss. That was on that back-to-back day where it was basketball, football, volleyball, all sorts of things. But they've had a couple games so far. They played Minot. Like we said, I think we talked about at Fort Bears.
Which is a really nice facility. I don't know if you've ever had the chance to be there.
I've never been.
But, my parents or my grandparents live, I have to drive through Newtown to get to my grandparents. So I've never been in the facility, but I've seen it.
I've seen
big, and it looks from the outside like it's going to be really nice. So can't say I've ever been inside, but.
Yeah, and then, looking at men's basketball, sort of the same thing. They had their first game. It was away. They had their first win.
Yep.
Then they went to this Fort Bears tournament. This is kind of the showcase tournament, not tournament, but showcase game against Minot. Had a loss there, but it was an exhibition game, so it doesn't really count. And then looking ahead, men and women's basketball are both on the road at Montana. They're playing, I think, 3 or 4 games this weekend, so that'll be a good tournament. It's a good tournament for our teams because it's against some of the frontier schools, and that's always good competition. It's good to go on the road for 12 hours or something like that, and then see how you play because you probably have to do that later on in the season. So we're excited to see those results coming in.
Yeah. Rodeo is in Sisseton, South Dakota this weekend, and we're going to give a little plug. They've got their Cowboys and Candlelight event coming up this weekend. Got this little poster. I don't know how it is actually pretty easy to see. Anyways, so the event itself, tickets are $60. You can pick up your tickets at the DSU Egg Building or the DSU Heritage Foundation. The event starts at 5 with the social and silent auction, followed by the prime rib buffet. So if you go for anything, I'd say go for the prime rib.
that's right,
My goodness.
I would too.
7:30 live auction and Calcutta. Do you know what that is? Is that like a silent
Silent
auction?
It's another type of auction, yeah.
All right, auction at 7:30, followed by the dance. Tickets to the dance are $5.
Yeah. If you just want to go to the
Yeah,
dance.
if you just want to go
they're
to the
$5.
dance.
Yep.
Starts at 9, and
Yeah.
Breaking 8 is the band featuring one of DSU's own.
Yep.
Geraldine.
Yep.
So-
We're excited. We're
Yeah.
excited for that one. Yeah, we'll
Yep.
see how they do this weekend. It's kind of a rescheduled rodeo tournament, rodeo meet, whatever.
Yeah,
I forget what you say.
rodeo.
It's
event.
just a rodeo event. Yep.
I don't know.
So we'll see. It's their first one in a couple weeks. Probably the last one of the fall season. So it's good to see how they
Yeah.
perform there. Looking at cross country, we had Peyton on. They went to the Mount Marty Invite a couple weeks ago. Women took 4th, men took 7th. And I think JC Wilson, she mentioned JC Wilson was in the top 20 for the women, and Rodney Henry, we had him on a couple weeks ago. He was the top finisher for the men. As she mentioned, they're heading to Wisconsin for their conference meet. Lots of conference things happening this weekend, which is really cool. But they're heading to Wisconsin, ranked first,
Yes,
or
long
projected
drive.
first. Men are also projected first, and so we'll see what they come away with.
Yeah.
You know, it's an exciting weekend.
Yeah.
An exciting weekend for DSU here.
Exactly. Volleyball has a few games this weekend. So they lost to Viterbo,
Yep.
which we had Mackenzie on, and she's the libero, which I just, anyways, whatever. But they won against Waldorf.
Yep.
They lost to Bellevue.
Yep.
They won at Dakota State.
Yep.
And this weekend we play Mayville and Presentation, which are two colleges we played a few weekends ago back to back. We went there, so they come.
No, they're coming here.
here
Yeah, they
this
split.
weekend.
They split those weekends.
Yep.
They played. Viterbo and Bellevue are both ranked teams. Again, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. I think with Kylie, just facing those teams is a little intimidating, but I think they come in playing really well.
Yeah.
And they've split games over the year with some of those teams. Looking at Dakota State, they came away with a win, and that put them in 5th place. Like we talked to Mackenzie, that put them in 5th place for the conference. They win out this weekend. They stay in 5th. Could move to 4th if Dakota State loses, which is possible. And then we play Dakota State probably for the first round of the conference tournament, which I believe starts next week or the week after. But yeah, again, looking forward to those games this weekend. It's big for them.
And I think they're
Parents'
doing
night.
Parents' Night and Senior Night,
Yep.
two separate nights, I
Two
think.
separate nights.
I don't
Yep.
remember
Thursday,
which one is which,
Thursday
but
and Friday. Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a big weekend for those girls. And looking at football, obviously I play football, but since we've been on, we've played Valley City, beat Valley City. It was a thriller, back to back. It was a shootout kind of till the end, and then we kind of came away with that big win. That was fun, really fun game. And then we just
Fun game to watch.
Fun game to watch. It was warm. It was sort of warm. Yeah, it was warmer than.
It was warmer where I was in my house watching on my computer than it would have been if I'd been outside.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, and then looking at presentation, we just went there. Also another tough win. They have a very strong offense, always coming away with 500, 600-yard games, and our defense held them again, just like last time. We didn't get a shutout, but we had a good game. Offense was very balanced. I think we had a 280 passing yards, 240 rushing yards, continuing to show excellence. And then looking ahead, we're playing Dakota State, which is my least favorite team in the whole world. So we're playing them.
But you have a great attitude going into the game.
I'm very excited to play them.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking ahead, it's going to be a good game. It's our seniors' probably our last game at the
Aw,
BAC.
sad.
So yeah, don't make me cry.
Oh gosh, no, I'm sorry.
But it's been a pleasure to play there. Honestly, it's just like I love the Hank, as we call it, and I'm so excited to just get to walk out with my parents, honor the seniors, and then go win.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
We'll have to talk about it more next week. How
We
it
will
felt.
talk. Yeah, we will
Your
talk more about
senior
it.
game.
Looking back at football, I'm gonna go on a little rant here, get a little tangent. I've been upset with the North Star a little bit, and their players of the week. They've continued to snub some of our guys, some guys that I believe deserve to be players of the week. And so I'm gonna go back and look at this past weekend.
Seth's players of
my
the week.
players of the week. I might start doing this. Depending on what the North Star does, we might have to let them know. Looking at the offense, so the offensive player of the week was a quarterback from Waldorf, and he had 4 touchdowns and a couple rushing yards, a couple passing yards. Our quarterback, Hayden Gibson, had a 68% completion, or a 68 completion percentage, and their quarterback only had 64% completion. So we're better in that category. We had Hayden had 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
The quarterback had 4 touchdowns as well. We had 241 yards, or he had 241 yards and 10 rushing yards, which is a first for Hayden, I think. I'm not sure if he's ever rushed for positive yards, but he rushed for 10 yards,
All right.
which is better than that quarterback as well.
Okay.
Just a comparison there. Tiger Fry had 2 touchdowns this weekend, 10 catches for 86 yards, and some big touchdowns there. And so I don't know what the North Star is looking at, but we have 2 offensive players. Ahmad Andrews, another player, 19 rushes with 108 yards, continues to lead the rushing every single week. He averaged 5.7 yards per carry, and also had 2 touchdowns. And so if touchdowns is everything, I guess Hayden probably deserves it. But if there's players of the week who deserve it for what they do and how they continue to play, Tiger, Ahmad, and even Hayden all deserve it as well. Looking at the defense now. Sorry, we'll keep going. Danny Marino, looking at the defense, they gave it to another player who had, I believe, 4 tackles. So four total tackles.
Okay, 4.
And an interception. They gave it to him because he had an interception. Looking at Danny Marino, 11 tackles. That's, what is that, 7 more? 7 more
fingers.
tackles than the other person. Derek Vandenbosch had 4 tackles and a pick, so he basically had the same exact stats as that other kid.
The other guy.
Jay Liggins, we've had him on, had 2 tackles, a pick, and 3 pass breakups. So I don't know what the North Star is looking at. We have, I guess we're just too balanced. Too many guys scoring, too many guys playing too well on the defense.
Yeah, it'd be too hard for them to pick just one from our team.
I guess our whole team
So they
deserves
just
it.
ignore us.
Cody Johnson, if we're going to go to special teams, averaged 53 yards on his kickoffs, and the other guy averaged 50 yards. So I don't know how the special teams work, but he also punts. And that's the thing I always say with Cody. He kicks and he punts. He does both of those things.
Yep.
So continually, I think he should get the special teams player of the week every single week because of that. But I guess the North Star doesn't listen to us. Apparently,
Maybe they should hire you
they should hire me to start picking, because at least I'm going to be balanced. I'll look for other teams.
And you compare them.
Yeah, I'm comparing. I don't think they compared. Honestly.
I don't know.
I don't think they did.
I'd be intrigued to have a conversation with someone. Be like, hi.
There's an idea that
I am not even on the football team, but I'm just curious what your rationale is for the people you pick.
Yeah.
Because if you compare the players like you just did, I don't know.
I guess it's just us
Maybe
versus
us
the North
versus
Star.
the
Us
North
versus the North
Star.
Star. I'm starting that hashtag. We're trying to go global with it. Us versus the
Go
North
global
Star.
with it.
All we really want to
Okay.
do is win. I can speak for the team. All we want to do is win. Honestly, we have a balanced team on offense, defense, and special teams, and all we want to do is win. And these awards, I guess, we're just too good for them. I don't know. But we'll be back next week. Hopefully, I don't go on a rant because hopefully they'll give us some.
Maybe
this
will do it. This will push them over the edge, and we'll finally.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
they'll
anyways,
give you one. I don't know.
we'll be back next week. Thanks everybody for watching. It's always a pleasure to be on here. Until next week, Hawks are up.